favorite guy ever. My man, no fear, all in, let's go. Pull the trigger, Nico. I'm Jim Rome.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
Well, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday to you. It's Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester. We are glad to be with you. And on a nice, sunny, hot day here. We've got Pete Rose eligible for the Hall of Fame, as well as Shoeless Joe Jackson. Big news. Wichita native Corleone Young this morning is going to get into the Hall of Fame, which is cool. We've got the Royals to talk about, losers on a walk-off last night. We've got NBA basketball. We've got NHL playoffs, all kinds of stuff going for you today. I'm Jacob Albrock alongside Tommy Kester, Max Power producing. Thanks for listening to us on KFH. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected, also on Facebook, YouTube, X, and thanks for listening to us on the Odyssey app as well. Lots of things to give away to you. 2 sets of concert tickets, some Wind Surge tickets, some HTO. That's all coming over the next bit of time here this morning we have with you. Tommy, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I've got to come to you this morning with my hat in my hands a little bit. You know, I've got egg on my face. I was highly, highly critical on Sunday of the ending of the Thunder Nuggets game in Denver. I did not enjoy watching it. It was not entertaining for me. And then last night's game totally redeemed it. Like, that was the end of that game, Nuggets and Thunder. That was a lot of fun. Thunder win the game. They move on, or not. They don't move on, but they're one step closer to moving on. Lead that series 3-2 against the Nuggets. That was entertaining. That was a lot of fun to watch. And I'm a little bit humbled this morning after that.
That's all right. Look, I think it's been a fun NBA playoffs. I think the ending to a lot of these games have been fantastic. Last night follows that trend. I think injuries have been kind of a bummer in this NBA playoffs. There've been, we saw Damian Lillard go down. We've seen Donovan Mitchell have issues. Of course, Jason Tatum most recently, and all that kind of stuff. It derails it a little bit, but yeah, the Thunder Nuggets has been largely just a great basketball series, and there you go. You get the Thunder taking the critical Game 5. Now, can they close it out and get one step closer to a return to a place they got in a, what seemed like a golden era, but maybe this is that era, and that was not. And they're a really interesting story and a cool team and a deep team and a balanced team and all those things as they get the win last night. A bit of a bummer for the Royals, who ran up against that's peak Framber Valdez for me. Like, he was outstanding last night. And the bullpen, again, a guy who'd been largely lights out, gives up the game-winning home run, but, I don't know that I'll place the blame fully on him. You scored 1 run, and it is what it is. They lose the game to Houston. Now they got to try to come back today and win a series. No big deal. Houston's not bad.
Yeah, a quick note on that, and you're totally right. Framber Valdez pitched outstanding, and there was some movement in his pitches last night. Flat out filthy, like flat out nasty. And so I know the Royals have struggled offensively. I'm not sure that that game last night was like them struggling offensively more than it was just a flat out great pitching performance from Valdez.
I agree. I think it was bad. Now they did. Now, yes, I totally agree. I do think they blew some opportunities, though, even in that great pitching performance that you can't blow, especially when you're going up against a great pitcher like that. Like you, there were some spots where you're like, all right, like that, you got to be able to do something with that, and they couldn't do it. But yeah, that was as good. I mean, that when you talk about Framber Valdez and all his success over the years, like that's it. That was as good as he ever is. When you just cannot get the ball in the air and he's moving around like that, he's very good.
And he was incredibly efficient too. You know, he was getting through innings, and I think there was one inning he had 6 pitches and got through it, and that allowed him to pitch deep into the ballgame. They were talking on the broadcast last night about how durable he's been and how he can go deep into games, maybe more so than almost any other pitcher in the majors right now. And that was on full display last night. So the Royals, I think it was a combination of, obviously they're not hitting great right now. They missed opportunities, and then they just got up against a buzzsaw in Valdez, and they were unable to hit him.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, when you face that, you're like, okay, well, you've got Bubic going just the same. And so you hope to like get into the bullpen and then get it done. And then of course the home run you did, but you didn't get enough chances there late. And it's fine.
And
like
I thought Bubic pitched really well too. I mean, like it was another really good outing from Bubic, and ultimately it'll go down as a no decision for him. But he kept the Royals in the game. He absolutely did. And he was able to hold the Astros down for the most part in the game too.
He made a bad pitch. And
one bad pitch.
Yeah, the guy,
and it was a no doubter. Pena just absolutely launched it.
You just all the home runs to left field in Houston look like that, but that took about 3 seconds to leave the yard. That was intense. We'll get more into the Royals as we go through, and then the other big nugget this morning, Tommy, Chief schedule release. We're on the day where we get into schedule release videos from the teams, which has become a great tradition. Highlighted for me by the old, Titans. What was that, 2-3 years ago, where they just have like random people guessing at these mascots?
Yeah.
And that was the best one ever.
Every single one is wrong. Yeah, yes, that was so good.
So good. But we get that. But on that day, we'll get that later tonight. We get as a big a nugget for their schedule release, probably as we've ever had, and that's that the Chiefs are playing on Thanksgiving. And they're playing the Cowboys. And that is, we saw that, we wondered when you saw the opponents come out and you're like, ooh, the Chiefs are playing in Dallas. They're playing in Dallas this year. What if they put that on Thanksgiving? So now you get the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. You get the Chiefs on Christmas. You get like all of this stuff. And here we are. And that's it.
Nothing like celebrating the holidays with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid.
That's a juicy one. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift can make their own holidays if they would like. They'll be okay. I think they like it. I think they like the spotlight. They want to make Christmas Day like their thing, like the Cowboys and the Lions get Thanksgiving. I don't think the NFL will ever do that again, because what happens when you're not Patrick Mahomes led Chiefs, right? You don't want bad teams on that. I think the league probably learned its lesson with the Cowboys and Lions. Like, sometimes they suck and we're kind of forced to put them on. Like, not now. Like this year, the league is in the golden age of Cowboys, Lions. Now Chiefs are on Thanksgiving. We'll see who they put the Lions up against, but they'll probably make that a good game too. It's a lot easier when the Lions are good to make those good games. But we get that nugget this morning. And then all the little things that will drop throughout the day. By the way, well, maybe we'll save. Did you see who Troy Aikman and Joe Buck picked? Or most importantly, Troy Aikman?
No, I did not.
So they went on a part of the schedule thing is, these little morning show hits they do, and they'll like release a game. Well, they did one of them, probably the ABC, I assume. And Buck said, this will be the year the Bills get through. And Aikman said the Cowboys. Aikman is a notorious Cowboy, like hard ass. Like he is not generous to the Cowboys, in my opinion. Like he is explicitly hard on them. I don't know if that's intentionally to like try to avoid the perception of a bias, or if he just is as annoyed as all the Cowboys fans. Yeah, he tossed that.
Wow.
That was interesting.
By the way, when do you know the last time the Chiefs played on Thanksgiving Day? You know how long it's been? Almost 20 years. They played in 2006 against the Broncos at Arrowhead in the nightcap of Thanksgiving Day. They rarely play on Thanksgiving. It's been a long time.
We'll dig into that, all the other scheduling notes when we return. It's Sports Daily on a Wednesday.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily, and we are glad to be here with you. Saturday's Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Night at Equity Bank Park. You have a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Wind Surge take on the Arkansas Travelers. Text the keyword TOWEL, TOWEL, to the short code 20357 for your chance to win. One entry per day. Standard message and data rates apply. That's TOWEL to the short code 20357. It's Surge Baseball on Saturday, May 17th at 4:05. The first 2,000 fans will receive a commemorative Wind Surge towel. For more information, you can visit kfhradio.com. This contest ends at noon on Friday. Welcome back into Sports Daily. Tommy, I sincerely apologize. I almost forgot it was Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday, so I ran and I made the switch there during the commercial break. So we are celebrating today. Happy Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday to all those who celebrate. Tommy not included because he's a Scrooge. But the rest of us we'll get this day started right with some bright colors and bring on the sunshine. We're inspired here this time of year.
You're absolutely welcome to wear whatever you want and be ridiculed for it. So, hey, look, it's a very colorful Hawaiian shirt. What color is that? Peach? What color is that shirt?
Yeah, it's like a red orange. I don't know. If you were looking at the Crayola box, it's probably like red orange. You remember that color? It's probably that. Listen, I got all kinds of colors. We'll keep it lively here. So, for all of those of you who go to work and rocking your Hawaiian, Max doesn't have Hawaiians. He said he'd rep tie-dye. Does Max have some tie-dye on today?
Yeah, he's wearing some tie-dye. He did order a Hawaiian shirt today, though. That's what he told me.
I ordered a Kamakoa tie-dye shirt. Did you ever see the new Hawaii 5-0?
The new one? I did. The new one that was like 15 years ago new?
Yeah, the guy that had the shrimp truck.
Yes. So that was one of, that show. I had another coworker, and when we worked nights and it was slower when that show would come on, we set our watches. That was that show, and it was right before my wedding. So our honeymoon, we go, and I'm like, we got to go find the shrimp trucks, and we got to go. I don't remember what all the characters' names are though, but it was we got to do this. I would love that show. I enjoyed that show.
Scott Kahn and Alex O'Loughlin, the way they yell at each other, and his girlfriend Michelle Borth and her 73 Corvette.
Yeah, it was a great buddy cop. It was well done. I liked that show. So I'm glad you got one. I went out. We found the shrimp trucks when we were there. Now we've been a few times since then. But yeah, Hawaii 5-0, that remake. I thought they did. I think they remade it again. I think it's been remade now. But yes, I was locked into the one that you were locked into, Max. So nicely done. We'll see it next Wednesday, I'm sure. And I know you're just trying to get brownie points with me because the Jets lost last night and they're down 3-1 in that series. And now I'm never going to get a new driver. So, NHL playoffs continue.
I should have took Edmonton and Toronto in the finals, but
there's still time.
They aren't done yet.
It's hockey. Hockey comebacks are a little more likely maybe than the other sports. So that's happening as well. Schedule release stuff is where we have our attention here, though, in this segment, and it has become a really fun tradition. I think it's even more surprising to me that this is a tradition that we've gotten behind. The draft makes more sense than this one, but you know what? This is it. I'm fine with it. I'm good with this fun this week for the NFL. And we get the big one is the Cowboys and the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Tommy, you mentioned right before we went to the break, 20 years since the Chiefs have been on Thanksgiving. We don't know who Detroit will play on Thanksgiving. We do know it will be the early game. So Cowboys Chiefs get that afternoon tryptophan window where we're all just full and all eyes are on football in that afternoon window. You just park it on the couch. You may be thinking about leftovers in the second half at that point, and that's going to be really, really fun for Chiefs fans.
Well, and I mentioned that, it was the nightcap of the Thanksgiving Day triple header in 2006. The last time the Chiefs played, it was the Broncos at Arrowhead on Thanksgiving night. But not only that, that was the very first year that the NFL did a night game on Thanksgiving Day. The first time they did that triple header. So it's always been the Cowboys, always been the Lions. They had never done like a night game until 2006, and it debuted with the Chiefs and the Broncos at Arrowhead. And the Chiefs have never played in it ever since the debut year that the NFL did that. They've never played on Thanksgiving since 2006. I was trying to actually find if the Chiefs have ever played the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, like going way back in time. And I'm still looking for that. I've not found that information.
Yeah, I can't believe the night game has been around for 20 years. That's crazy that that's been that long. I like that they do the night game. I like that there are Thanksgiving games more than I like there are Christmas games. I don't mind the Christmas games. I'm okay with the Christmas games, but I can't make that day synonymous with football like we have Thanksgiving. So I'm happy to see that it's Chiefs Cowboys is going to have a lot of run. I mean, we're late in the year. If Dak Prescott stays healthy, like the Cowboys are going to be good. I don't know if I'm with Troy Aikman and like putting them in the Super Bowl good, but if Dak's healthy, like they've got a good roster. They added to the defense. They've got star players. They made the big trade for George Pickens. They've got their new coach. Like all this stuff. Like they're very likely going to be a playoff contender this year. And to get that and the Chiefs right on a that's good. That's good stuff. That is good stuff.
So the last time the Chiefs played the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, you have to go back to 1995, and the Cowboys beat the Chiefs 24-12 on November 23rd, 1995 in Dallas.
Super Bowl year for the Cowboys. Is 95. So that's it's been a minute. It's been a minute. And that's a headline. Now don't screw it up, league. Like don't give us Lions. I don't know who's on their schedule. Don't give us Lions Titans or something. Like follow it up. Everybody in the NFC North is good. Just give us an NFC North game in Detroit and you'll be good. Like they're all good teams. Like that will satisfy us.
And it looks like, by the way, that's the only time. I'm just going back in time. That's the only time the Chiefs have played the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. They have played the Lions a few times on Thanksgiving, a couple times in the 70s, a couple times in the 80s. They did it in 1996. But that's the only, from what I can find, that's the only time that the Chiefs have played the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day was 1995.
I don't remember the Chiefs ever playing on Thanksgiving, but I haven't been following the Chiefs closely, obviously, as people around here, just for the last 12, 13 years or so. I don't think there have been any other nuggets this morning. We're kind of into where we were yesterday. That was the big one. We knew already that Philadelphia, Washington was going to be a part of the Week 16. It's only officially announced now. We heard yesterday, even though they've officially announced at the international games, Eagles, Bears, we knew was Black Friday. So I think everything else that's been dropped, we've known. And now we're getting to the point where they're all going to drop. I guess, yeah, that's the point. I'm seeing another article, just making sure I didn't miss any, that are pointing out must-see matchups, but we don't know dates on these. They're just pointing out what are going to be good games this year. So that's it. So that leaves, it leaves opportunities for a lot of big games. For the Chiefs, we still need to find out Bills. We still need to find out Ravens. The Cowboys was a big one. Those are two Eagles. What happens with the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl rematch at Arrowhead? When is that one going to go? It's probably going to be a Sunday Night Football, if I had to guess. And then I think that means we'll probably get, because we're already looking at Chiefs primetime on that Friday, on Christmas, on Thanksgiving. That's 3. They usually get about 6 or 7, right? Yeah, it still leaves, Bills, leaves Ravens. CBS is going to want some of these premier Chiefs games in its afternoon window, certainly. So we'll see. But I'll bet you, let's see, we got 3. I'll bet the Chiefs catch prime time 7 times this year. What do you think?
Do you remember how many times they did in the regular season last year? I mean, I felt like it was a lot.
I think it was around that. I'm going to say 7.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it would be any fewer than what it was last year.
Because you got to count on Monday Night Football is going to want them once at least. So that'll put us at 4. Sunday Night Football want them at least twice.
I was going to say twice. Thursday Night Football
6.
probably once.
I think we're gonna get up to 7 prime times. It's so, that's fine. I like the Chiefs. Honestly, my favorite window for the Chiefs to play is the Sunday late afternoon window. That's what I prefer their games to be. That's my favorite window because typically with that window, like I'm still like locked into football mode, but there aren't very many games in that window. So that's my favorite one. And plus I like to see, Nance and Romo do their games too. And I work for a CBS station and I want the best for KWCH. But we'll see. How many can they get? They'll fight. They'll all be fighting for it. The CBS will fight for them. ESPN's going to want at least. Didn't they play twice on Monday Night Football last year? Did ESPN get them twice?
I
feel like they might have got them twice.
Didn't they play? They played a Saturday night primetime game.
Oh, and maybe that was on ESPN. Okay.
It was the I think they played the Texans in primetime on that
more of those
Saturday
games
night
once college football clears.
Yeah.
Oh, they play the Texans again this year. So that's another potential premier game that they've got to get placed on the schedule. Chiefs play a good schedule this year. You haven't talked a lot about just the schedule that they play, but with the NFC East and the Bills and the Ravens, which the NFL needs to be putting them up against every year, and the Texans and how much better the division's going to be, there's no cupcakes. Like the Chiefs aren't going 16-1 again, or 15-2, I guess it was because of that throwaway game at the end of the year. That's not going to happen this year, and they'll probably be a better team, right? Like I think that the Chiefs will be better than they were a year ago in a Super Bowl year. We got to see the defense a little bit, but I don't think there's any way they're going 15-2 playing the schedule that they're going to play. There's no way. There's no way they're going to do that again. And in reality, it was 15-1, right? The last game was a throwaway. They're not making it through the regular season with one loss.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that's that's realistic. I mean, there were so many breaks that the Chiefs got last season, games that they shouldn't have won that they did end up winning, that we were all scratching our heads and being like, how did they win that game? And they didn't. Could that be duplicated again this year? Probably to some extent, but I think it's unrealistic expectations to, say that they'll get through the regular season with one loss, regardless of what their schedule looks like.
So let me ask, we haven't done this and it's way too early, but why not? We're talking schedule. We're having fun with it. Do you think you're going to put the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl this year?
Oh, I don't know. I have not even gotten that far yet. And to be honest with you, I'm going to defer. I know that's
it's not, we don't need to make the
answer you're looking for. I'm deferring to that because I'm super conflicted and I've not made up my mind.
I don't think I like anybody better in the AFC because I don't know that anybody's gotten any much better. Like I just have to remind myself that the Chiefs were never healthy until the very end of the year, and they cannot be worse at left tackle. They could probably be worse on the offensive line in general because they traded away Joe Thuney, but I'd say that's unlikely. They can't be worse at left tackle. So they're going to get better at that one thing they were terrible at. And if they just get healthy, like we still don't know about Rashee Rice, but what if Rice doesn't get suspended? Wasn't the court case December until after the year?
I've honestly
stopped paying attention. They sit here the whole season and they have Rice and Worthy both on the field at the same time. And like, there's a better than 50-50 chance the offense is significantly better than it was a year ago. Can the defense follow it up? And I don't think there's anybody in the AFC who's just like, no doubt about it, made themselves that much better, right? The Bills didn't get any worse and probably will be a little better. The Ravens, I think, are the Ravens, but I don't know. I think in the AFC, they look okay. It's really about the Eagles again. It's about a healthy Lions team again. I think those are probably their main competitors, but I don't think there's any reason to be any less optimistic than normal this year for the Chiefs.
No, I wouldn't be less optimistic. I think that the big question as we get through free agency period and then the draft, and obviously now we're getting into summertime. Is there any reason to think that the Chiefs are more talented than what they were a year ago? And I think that's been the big question mark for me. I think that they basically have ran everything back for the most part, but on paper, at least, they ran everything back minus Joe Thuney, minus a couple of pieces defensively.
Plus Rashee Rice.
Plus Rashee Rice, plus, a healthy Hollywood Brown, Hollywood Brown coming back. So and I wonder what kind of impact Brown will have in the offense this year. We didn't really get a chance to see hardly any of that from him last year. So for me, there's a lot of just like unknowns. And, so I think that it's a personnel thing, but schematically also, I think that hopefully, I'm sure they're doing this, Andy Reid and his staff working on ways to, I don't even necessarily think reinvent the offense necessarily, but maximize the pieces on that offense. And until I see that, I have a hard time really being able to like declare that I think that they're all the way back.
Well, they will because they have the pieces, right? Like I think last year you got to, Hollywood Brown was gone immediately. So that kind of went out the window. Xavier Worthy was a rookie. So now and Rashee Rice was gone, very early in the season. Well, Hollywood Brown, will be there. Injuries, obviously, we have to put to the side on all this. Rashee Rice won't be suspended. It doesn't look like to start the season. And Xavier Worthy he's rounded into form of what he's going to be by the end of the year. All three of those things right there together are better than what they walked into the season with. I think losing Joe Thuney is something we need to watch. And I think, Travis Kelce's age is something we need to watch. Patrick Mahomes' age is probably something we need to watch. Like Kelce, people have pointed out he looks thinner, in some of the offseason pictures, hair notwithstanding. I think that probably tells me he'll be more of a pass catcher and less probably of a blocker, which will probably be easier on him as he gets older. And that obviously will be impactful to what the offense looks like. For me, it's hard for me to try to find a path to them being even just as productive offensively as they were a year ago. I think unless they suffer a ton of injuries again, they're almost certainly going to be better offensively this year than they were a year ago. And then it becomes, can they just continue to match the defensive performances they put up the last 2 years? And that doesn't always happen, right? Like that, it's not as consistent probably as offense is sometimes. So that's the question for me is, can they match what they've been able to do defensively with what I think will be at least a small, if not fairly significant improvement? And they'll have Isaiah Pacheco back for most of the season. He was gone most of the season too. So yeah, they ran it back, but they didn't really have what they had back. They didn't have it all together until the very end of the year. And obviously they were so bad at left tackle in the Super Bowl, it didn't really matter. But again, it's too early. We're not making that state. We're not making our picks or anything, but based on what we've seen in the draft and everything else, it's going to be hard for me to not put them back there just on May 14th, based on everything we've seen.
Well, and apparently too, I read that Travis Kelce has lost 20 to 25 pounds this offseason.
That's what I mean. I think he's going to focus on being a receiver.
Yeah. And I love that. I mean, I love the fact that he's like, I gotta get myself in peak physical condition. It's going to be a lot more work for me. I'm older now. I've got to work twice as hard to be able to get into shape and all of that. It shows, kind of like that locked in mentality. I love that.
I mean, we saw Brady and Rodgers do it as older players. They definitely, they brought the weight down. But, if Kelce's not going to block, he doesn't need the weight. And he probably shouldn't be blocking as much. He's an old man in football years. You don't need him on the line blocking. Put somebody else in there. Let them do the grunt work. He's very good at it, but they need him as a receiver. All right, we'll come back. Let's get into that Royals game last night. We'll look to the series finale tonight. Don't go away. More Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We've got all kinds of fun giveaways for you today. Let's do some concert tickets. We'll start with Static X this time, Tommy. It'll be Static X at the Cotillion on May 26th. It's a text-in contest for a pair of tickets. This one's easy, just the letter X to the short code 20357. That's it. letter X to 20357, static X, cotillion, May 26th. Message and data rates apply. 1 entry per day. Good luck, everybody. We have some other concert tickets. We have some HTO. We have all kinds of stuff for you this week. And we're happy to do it for you. Okay. Let's Tommy, before we get into the Royals, we've got to talk Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. Reinstated, essentially, which means they can go in front of the Veterans Committee. They'll get in. I think, Pete Rose will get in. Shoeless Joe's a little interesting because it's a little bit different circumstances. I think Pete Rose is more of the headline here. He's going to get in. And the justification is he can't do any harm to the game while he's no longer with us. I'm very happy for his family. I'm very happy that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm very happy, I think, and I don't totally, full disclosure, understand the process here, but I'm very happy this doesn't have to go through the drama of the voters and the virtue signaling of the writers and all of that stuff. Like, this committee can just say, I think it just goes through the Veterans Committee where they can just say, yeah, he's in, which I think will simplify it and get us to the point we need to be where, one of the all-time great players, you can't tell the story of the game without him, needs to be in there, and it's time. And we can put that all behind us.
There's no guarantee that that's going to happen, though. I mean, at this point, they literally had just been removed from the permanently banned list. So there's still a process that they have to go through with the Veterans Committee, with the Hall of Fame. Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with Cooperstown, with the Hall of Fame at this point. That's a completely separate entity from Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball, literally, all they did was remove those guys from the permanently ineligible list. And so will it move forward? Time will tell. But at least at this point, they are, just like taken off of that banned list. They don't have to, it doesn't have to be hung over the heads of their families anymore. And, I'm sure that and I don't know how many generations were removed from Shoeless Joe Jackson at this point. I don't know if we're talking like grandkids, great grandkids, whatever. But I know like Pete Rose still has like sons and, kids that are still alive and that sort of thing. So I love the fact that even though both of those guys are gone, that's not hanging over their head anymore. Will they be in the Hall of Fame? Who knows? But at least this first step has been accomplished.
I think I'd be stunned if Pete Rose is not. I don't know as much about so long ago. He and his teammates, the Blacks, they were accused of throwing games, right? Pete Rose was just accused of betting on games. For all we know, he was, as a manager, betting on his own team to win. He was never accused of throwing a game, which is very, very different. And in fact, I think, I get it. The integrity has to be in place. But if we're being real honest, steroids blasted the integrity of the game. Which one is worse? I understand the ban. I understand the ban for what Pete Rose did. I get it, and I don't disagree with it.
That's saying, is it worse to murder somebody with a gun versus a knife?
That's right.
It's still like
you can't. But what I'm saying is, we've always we're not banning Barry Bonds from baseball, right? They're not. The writers are not putting him in the Hall of Fame, but
he's not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, but he's not permanently ineligible,
right? It's a little bit different. It's never been treated the same when in reality, the integrity of the game was absolutely impacted.
But you know what it was with Pete Rose? It was the defiance. That's what kept him on that list for so long. Now, later in life, towards the end, and in fact, I watched a really great interview with new Rangers hitting coach Brett Boone, who's got the Brett Boone podcast here on Odyssey. He had Pete Rose on his podcast. And Boone posted a clip just the other day, as soon as this news came down, where Pete Rose said that, he felt like at the time that he would have his name removed from the permanently ineligible list after he died. And that's exactly what happened. And I think that, and he was contrite. And I know in the years prior to his death, he was remorseful, like all of that, where before, like early on, he really wasn't. Like, it was like pretty defiant and pretty like, I'm not going to apologize for this. I'm going to continue to try to basically say I didn't do anything wrong, like, et cetera, et cetera. And so I do think that was a part of it and why he ended up on that list for as long as he did.
I have interviewed Pete Rose. and it was contentious. He did not do himself any favors, right? He came, it was the Wingnuts. I don't even remember. I think his son was
His son was the
managing.
manager for a
Yeah,
year
his
with the
son was
Wingnuts.
managing the Wingnuts, and he was in town. And I don't like, we did the interview. The interview was set up. So it was right as, I don't think, was it Manfred? I'll get the timing of this wrong. It was in the first 2-3 years I was here. So whatever. It was right when, though, there started to be some conversations about potentially getting him in there. And so, we're here. We talked about his son for a minute, and then I just said, we're seeing this in the news. And it was very just like, well, I'm not in Wichita to talk about any of that. And I'm like, well, I mean, you are in Wichita doing an interview. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? And it was real. It got real strange real quick. And I get it. I get being sensitive to it, but he just never would. And I don't have anything wrong with that, or his defiance to be political about it. Like,
And remember the whole controversy. I mean, when 20 years ago, and I think it was Jim Gray with NBC, and it was wasn't it a World Series game or something?
Yeah.
And they honored like the All Century team, and he was named as part of the All Century team. He was on the banned list at that point, but he came to the game, was there to partake in the best players in the 20th century or whatever it was. And Jim Gray's interviewing him, and it's just like, hey, what do you think about you being on the banned list, and are you willing to admit that you bet on baseball and express remorse? And it got defiant, and that was on national TV before a World Series game, and like that was a huge deal back then. And he was very much, it was the same way. It was very much like, I'm not here to talk about that. You're blindsiding me. You're bombarding me, like right before a World Series game. Like that was a huge amount of drama when that all went down. For a long time, I think you hit the nail on the head. For a long time, he did not do himself any favors. Towards the end of his life, though, he did, and I think that there was a desire for his legacy. He wanted to be included. He felt like before he died, he wanted to be back in that community, and unfortunately, it didn't happen until after he passed away.
It's just really, really sad, and I hate it. I think like too many people's favorite player. He was before our time slightly. So we didn't see it, but I've seen all that. He would have been one of my favorite players too, just like everybody else. You love players that love baseball as much as he loved baseball, and his personality was big, and the stories are great when you hear him and all that stuff. But there's a reason Barry Bonds doesn't do any interviews. Barry Bonds knows what's going to come up if he does interviews, right? He just didn't do them, and he wasn't a friendly guy at all. Like he was notoriously a jerk. To people, to reporters, especially inside locker rooms and everything else. He's not going to do that. Pete Rose would do it, and then you can't be surprised though. But either way, I'm happy for his family. I'm happy for his legacy. I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for his fans. He is one of the most beloved players of all time, and you absolutely cannot tell the story of the game without him. Just like you can't without Barry Bonds. Just like you can't without Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, all of these guys. They are a part of the history of the game. You can tell the history. It's a celebration, but it's a museum. Like our Hall of Fames have to preserve the history, not just the good stuff, right? Of what's happening in a sport. It's always bothered me about that. Like how are you not putting Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame? They're arguably the two best at what they did ever. Ever. Look at Barry Bonds' numbers before he was ever accused of anything. He screwed it up, right? Like that's all on him. But put him in there and just here's what happened. I've never understood why that's so complicated. Never understood it. Best players of a generation. You can't tell the story without him. Certainly Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose fit that description, and I hope we get him into the Hall of Fame.
And even, I know we had focused on Pete Rose because that's more recent. I'm really happy that Shoeless Joe Jackson was at least taken off the list. Whether or not he'll actually end up in the Hall of Fame, time will tell. But I'm no expert on the Black Sox scandal.
Yeah, me neither.
But I've read quite a bit where Jackson was never really, like, I think by all accounts, not involved in that. Like, and there's no proof that he was ever part of the group that tried to throw games. At least from what I've read. And maybe there's a smoking gun somewhere that I'm unaware of. But everything that I've read and looked at, and I've watched, documentaries and movies and things like that. And it always seemed like he was caught up as a member of the team, but unaware that any of this was actually going down. And, we're talking over 100 years since the Black Sox scandal. Like, what good is it doing keeping this guy off of, the Hall of Fame consideration, at least? It's not doing anybody any good. And so I'm really glad to see, and for his family, I don't even know, great grandkids or whatever they are at this point, I'm glad that at least they don't have to have him with that, black mark on his name.
I agree. I don't know the history even as well as you do. But if he's one of the best players and you can't tell the story, then put him in. But that's a long time ago. Like, I don't have much context there for that one, like we do for Pete Rose. But I think most people would have liked to seen Rose in a long time ago. I think some people wouldn't agree with that. Brandon says those players are in the museum, the part of the hall that tells the story of the baseball. They just don't have a bust, I think is what Brandon was trying to say. And that's fine. And that's fair. But I don't think, Brandon, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I've not been to Cooperstown, but Barry Bonds does not fit that description, right? Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe might, but Barry Bonds and these other guys that aren't being voted in, they're not. I don't think they have a section of the Hall of Fame yet dedicated to the steroid era like they should. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I haven't been. I need to go. Have you been to Cooperstown?
I never have. I would love to.
Yeah, I would too. I've heard it's incredible. Of the Hall of Fame. That'd be the Hall of Fame, right? Like, if you had to go to one, would that be the one you go to? It would be for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to go to Canton, too, for the NFL Hall of Fame or Pro Football Hall of Fame. But for me, Cooperstown is where it's at.
Yeah, that's the big one. So we didn't get to the Royals there. We will as we make our way into the second hour. Let's do another one of our giveaways here. No, you know what? Let's talk about the summer concert series. So we'll do the other giveaways. We'll save those for the next hour, but we'll tell you that Odyssey's summer concert series are coming to you all summer long. We've known it forever as the KYN summer concert series. Now it's the summer concert series presented by Odyssey, but we're kind of getting a little more all-inclusive here. So these will be Friday nights from 8 to 10 o'clock. The first batch is at the Capitol Federal Amphitheater in Andover. You've got Across the Pond, King Midas, Jet City, Big Fat Fun. So that's Fridays, June 20th, 27th, and then July 11th. They skip 4th of July, and July 18th. And then it moves into Napsker Park in Wichita, July 25th, August 1st, August 8th, August 15th. Get ready. It's free. They're Friday nights. They're awesome. We're happy to have those for you. All right, more giveaways. We'll get Royals. We'll get Shreyas Laddha in to talk a little KU, all coming in your next hour of Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to another hour of Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Caster here with you on this Wednesday, on this Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday. Glad to have everybody here with us. You can leave us your video comments on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. We've had some there. We appreciate those. You can leave us voice messages through the Odyssey app whenever it is that you're listening to us. I know a lot of people listen to us throughout the day on the app. You can always leave us your comments and commentary. We can get back to it the next day if it's relevant. We like it. You can also call us the good old-fashioned way, 869-1240. Max has those. Max, speaking of that hotline, speaking of that number, let's do another giveaway. We're going to do, this one is a call-in contest. Let's do our second caller here for the Gone Fishing Tour at the Cotillion, Kingfish and Samantha Fish. This will be Thursday, a week from this Thursday, so it'll be May 22nd. It's a call-in contest. 869-1240, second caller right now. You'll get a pair of tickets. And good luck, everybody. That'll be our third giveaway of the day. We'll do some HTO as well. But Kingfish, Samantha Fish, the Gone Fishing Tour at the Cotillion. Call in now. Second caller, Max will get us a winner there as we come back, Tommy. And we've got Shreyas Laddha coming later this hour to talk the latest at KU. KU football has been making some splashes. I don't know how closely you've been following that, Tommy, but they're kind of creeping up some lists of transfer portal rankings. So that'll be interesting. We'll talk to Shreyas about it. We'd wondered with all the graduations, but they returned Jalen Daniels, and we hope he's actually healthy this year and back to normal right out of the gates. What could they do? Well, if they put together a good class, you'd never know. Like, anything's on the table through the transfer portal now. And KU's, they're right there. So we'll get into that with Shreyas and some other things. We've been talking NFL schedule. The Chiefs announced, if you missed it, they'll be playing Thanksgiving Day against the Cowboys in what will very likely.
Looks like we just lost Jacob there. So, yeah, you mentioned the Chiefs' schedule and everything that came down yesterday for the Chiefs. I want to go back briefly, and I was looking at this with Big 12 play. The Chiefs or the Jayhawks. Kansas is ranked in the top 10 in the Big 12 right now from 24/7 Sports, 39th nationally as far as their transfer portal is concerned. And so, I definitely think that as we're looking at, the Jayhawks and how they are bringing in their commits, there's a lot to be excited about, and we will get with Shreyas Laddha on that a little bit later on in this hour. By the way, just heard from Jacob. He just lost power at his location. So we're going to try to get him connected on the phone here in just a second here on Sports Daily. So going back to the Chiefs schedule, yes, announced earlier today that the Chiefs and the Cowboys playing on Thanksgiving Day. And that's interesting. I mean, the fact that it's been 20 years since the Chiefs have played on Thanksgiving Day, and there's been a lot of chatter that I've seen on social media about how, this is a day and a time slot that usually ranks among the most watched throughout the entire course of the season, where, fans are tuning in to watch football on Thanksgiving Day, regardless if we're talking about who's playing. If the Cowboys and the Lions are good, if they are bad, people are tuning in to watch, even if they're awful, on Thanksgiving Day. And so the fact that now you've got the Chiefs playing on Thanksgiving Day, that tells you quite a bit about, the way the NFL feels like that team is leading. Max, I don't know I know you were getting a winner there. Jacob has completely lost power at his location, so he's going to call in and join us via phone. I don't know if he's calling at this point yet or not, but we're going to get Jacob here reconnected as we continue to talk about the schedule release for the Chiefs that comes out today. I think we do have Jacob. You there, buddy?
Yeah, that was strange. We lost power here to the house, and it's still not back on, so I'm not sure what's going on. Certainly not a storm outside, but we'll connect this way until that pops back up, hopefully in the next little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of a comedy of errors there because you lost power. You're calling in. Max is taking a winner, though, for the giveaway that you just did, and so he's on the phone with our winner, so it took a while to get you connected. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I need to call in, and we just set up the call-in contest, of course. But yeah, we'll be back. We can go this way as long as we need to. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, it's weird, and we were just talking a little bit more about the schedule release, and want to get your take on this. There are a lot of people I've been seeing on social media today talking about how it's interesting that the NFL is putting the Chiefs in on Thanksgiving Day because that time slot, that day, regardless if the Cowboys or the Lions are good or bad, people tune in and watch regardless. So it's not like the NFL needs help on that day. And so rather than utilizing the Chiefs in another time slot that weekend, on a 3:25 afternoon game when they play the Cowboys or whatever, they're putting them on that Thanksgiving Day slot.
Yeah, look, I think the NFL is going to be fine in its viewership. I mean, that's the reason we all it owns everything. I think there will be a decent chance that we see that afternoon game set the record. It's Chiefs, it's Cowboys. It's in a window where a lot of people are watching anyway. I think typically they get up there. And if you want to look at it, I mean, they're going to get a chance to boast the biggest television audience ever, or whatever they'll throw out there. But I think it's going to have a chance. I mean, I think it'll have a chance in that window on that day. I mean, man, that'll be the Fox game, right? Because CBS is going to get the early game with the Lions this year, it sounds like. So, yeah, that's why I think, because they'll probably already got the graphics made, attendance record for this game. I mean, it's gonna do it.
Yeah, I do think that it's got the opportunity to be, maybe the highest watched or highest rated, most watched Thanksgiving Day game maybe ever. But at the
I think maybe the most watched game ever outside of a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I understand the thought process of let's maybe try to get these two teams to play, week 8 at 3:25 on Fox, to try to boost ratings for that late window on a random day, because you've got the Chiefs, you've got the Chiefs playing in Dallas. I mean, that should help the ratings on just a random Sunday afternoon in one of the early weeks of the year, as opposed to, I was just, talking about before you got, back on connected with us, that even when the Cowboys and the Lions traditionally suck and they're terrible, people still watch on Thanksgiving Day. Like it's a tradition. Doesn't matter how good or bad those teams are. And, so I get the whole thought that some people are suggesting on social media that, hey, this might actually be kind of like a waste of a slot here, because, the Cowboys could play the winless Giants on Thanksgiving and people are still going to tune in.
Yeah, maybe, but if you're looking at it with the bread and butter of what matters to the network, because ultimately I think it would have been the network that made the choice as much as anything. I mean, I'm selling these commercials for as much as I've ever sold a regular season game before or more, right? Like if I'm going to Bud Light and I'm Fox, I'm like, hey, this one's going to cost you a little extra. Like we anticipate X, Y, Z. So I mean, I think, look, if I'm a network, I think it makes sense. You're trying to capture that opportunity, and they're going to build it up appropriately. The league will, everyone will, as long as one of the teams doesn't suck by November, they're going to build it up they're going to build this as one of the biggest regular season games ever. It's not going to be in reality, but they're going to build it that way. I mean, you've got the biggest draw right now in the NFL, which has been the Chiefs, versus the biggest draw historically in the NFL, which is the Cowboys, and we expect both teams to be good. I get it. They're going to make a bunch of money on this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it too. It's interesting because my first initial reaction was, oh, hell yeah, like give me the Chiefs and the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, and I still feel that way. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and especially considering that the Chiefs haven't played on Thanksgiving in 20 years. Then I'm starting to read these comments and I'm like, what, that I actually get that. Like it makes sense to me that people are like, man, it's almost kind of like the NFL wasted an opportunity to boost ratings on a, week 8 or week 9 Sunday afternoon game when people are going to watch on Thanksgiving, regardless who the Cowboys play. Doesn't necessarily matter if it's the Chiefs or another team. So I get that thought process too, but just from a sheer entertainment factor, and it definitely shows me, it definitely tells me that the NFL and the networks continue to look at this Chiefs dynasty as the money-making team in the NFL. It's the organization that can bring more eyeballs. I mean, there's a reason why they're going to be playing on Thanksgiving. There's a reason why they're going to be playing on Christmas. There's a reason why they're playing on a random Friday to start off the season in Brazil. Like the NFL and these networks view Patrick Mahomes and company as the money-making entity in this league. And I think that's on full display for already what we've seen with this limited schedule release so far.
Yeah, it's I've always wondered this, and we can talk more about it in a little. Like, I think it's as much about money as it is brand, like awareness. Like they're the biggest megaphone the league has to scream from the rooftops, "Hey, come watch us too."
100%. We'll find out more about the Chiefs schedule as the day goes on and what everything is going to look like from top to bottom. Maybe we can get Jacob reconnected. We'll find out. We're going to take a break. We're going to see what's going on there with the power at his house. When we come back, we'll talk some Royals. Haven't gotten into them much at all on this show. We'll do that on the other side of the break. Tommy Castor, Jacob Albrocht. It's Sports Daily. We're coming right back.
hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB Overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of fantasy. It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Sports Daily here on KFH. Tommy Castor, Jacob Albrock, Max Power producing the program. I think we've got Jacob back here with us on the program, connected via phone here on the program. Welcome back. It looks like, are the lights out at your house right now still?
We're still out. I don't know what's going on. Like it's going to be a little chaotic here with me, so bear with me. We got nothing, like no power. I checked the breaker boxes. There must be. You said our buddy Jad was reporting like some traffic light outages. So little spotty here. There could be people at the door, whatever. So just bear with me as we deal with this. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, it's weird. And to your point, Jad Chambers, former producer of the program and our main traffic guy here in the morning here on the Odyssey family of radio stations, reporting traffic lights out at 13th and Webb. So no idea if there's a widespread outage. That's not far from your house. So, there could very well be a power outage, that's going on that we're dealing with right now. Do we still have you, Jacob? Okay, looks like we don't have him. We'll try to get reconnected to him as soon as possible. Going to be a little tricky as we continue on here on the program. Okay, I think we've got you back now, Jacob. Are you there?
Yeah, my phone rang. Maybe that was the power company. So when my phone rings, I guess we lose the stream. This is going to be something here.
Got to stay on our toes. Let's talk Royals a little bit here, Jacob. We have not really spent much time on the Royals this morning here on the program. 2-1 losers on a walk-off home run by the Astros last night. And, it was a great pitching performance from Framber Valdez on the side of the Astros. A great pitching performance, honestly, from Chris Bubich as well. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the Royals are unable to get enough offense to be able to get on top. And they couldn't get to Framber Valdez in that game. And then John Schreiber gives up a walk-off.
Yeah, it's too bad. You get the great pitching performance from Bubich, and I know that at least I have been, and maybe you to a lesser degree, frustrated with the lack of consistent offense for the Royals. That Framber Valdez, I think I texted you this right after the walk-off. Like, nobody was hitting Framber Valdez last night. I don't want to let them totally off the hook with that, though, because they did waste some opportunities in the game. They had a couple of chances. And honestly, that's been the magnifying glass for me. Like, they this year have not been good enough when they have the opportunity. They're not going to all of a sudden, I don't think, Tommy, hit for power. Now, will they hit for a little bit more? Probably. Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvi both are better power hitters than they've been thus far. But that's never been what's going to generate the offense. They cannot continue to get a couple on with nobody out and get nothing out of that. Like, that is anti-Royals baseball. That's anti what we saw a year ago. They were way too good last year with essentially the same players at getting runs across with opportunities given to be this bad at that very same thing this year. Maybe it's a law of averages, but man, that is hard for me to believe. And that's what's been the most frustrating part.
I do think that one thing that, it happened early on in the game that was notable to me. Jonathan India, we hadn't seen him play second base in his time with the Royals. He played a lot of second base in Cincinnati, but that was the first game that we've seen him play second. And first inning, there's a hard slide in as he's trying to turn a double play. And India tweaks his knee, I held my breath for a second. I'm like, you know what? This could end up not being good for the Royals at all. Fortunately, he was able to stay in the game. And he was actually probably the most productive offensive bat in that lineup last night for the Royals. 2 for 3 for him, got on base a couple of times, ultimately wasn't able to score. But, that I think the Royals, in that moment averted potential disaster, because the last thing that they need is their leadoff guy, the guy who kind of, stirs the drink for them, going down with an injury in the very first inning in the first game that he plays in, as second base in that game. I think that was I think they dodged a bullet there for sure.
Yeah, it's isn't that crazy? Like, it hasn't been major injury. It hasn't been some like external weird thing that has been the reason they can't consistently score runs. These are the guys. And these are the guys largely we expect to be able to do it. And we brought it up yesterday. They had the nice opener where they score 7 runs. They've only scored more than 4 runs 2 games in a row 2 times this year. We're 45 or so games into this season. That's crazy. Just 4. Like, we're only asking for 4 or more, like more than 4. Like, we're not asking for a lot here, and they don't need a lot. They just can't keep having 0 and 1s, which they've had more often than they've had more than 4, which again is crazy to me to think about. Almost a quarter of their games this year. So we're just looking for marginal improvement there. And this is what I worry about, especially like with the bullpen. You can't be high leverage all the time. That's not sustainable. And right now, even through that win streak, as great as it was, there weren't very many times where everything wasn't high leverage, whether that's on your starting pitching, whether that's on your bullpen. It has almost always been high leverage situations. And at some point, that's going to break. Like, that's not sustainable for any team. They've got to get it better so that they don't have to be in high leverage spots, so that they can bail their pitchers out. You can't ask your starters to be what Chris Bubich was every single time they take the mound. Like, you have to be able to win games where they're not perfect.
We saw Vinny Pasquantino again batting further down in the lineup, not in the 3-hole last night. And that's kind of been an area that Matt Quatrero has dabbled in with Vinny Pasquantino. It's not a consistent thing. I think it's got to be. Like, that's my opinion at this point. Like, you've got to put him in a position and stick with him there for a minute. And I'm not saying that he permanently bats 6th in the lineup forever, but if you're going to try to, experiment with him further down in the lineup and hopefully that gets him going, I think you've got to do it more than just a game here, a game there. Then he's back up in the 3-hole. Then you move him back down to 6th. I think you've got to at least commit to it for somewhat of a period of time. And whether that's a week or a month or whatever it is, I would love to see just a little bit of continuity and consistency. If that's the direction the Royals want to go with Vinny, then I think you need to stick with it for somewhat of a period of time.
I would be okay with that. But if he heats up, they're going to need him up higher in the lineup. So,
I just don't like the one game in the 3-hole, and then the next game he's batting 6th, and then he's back up to 3, and then like it's just kind of a back and forth thing. And I'm sure that matchups have something to do with it, and who's on the bump for the other team in that particular game, and how does Vinny do, whether it's a righty or a lefty, and that may be a big part of it too, and why Q is making those decisions that way. I just would love to see a little bit more consistency, because I have a hard time thinking that, like, if I'm Vinny, I'm like, man, if I could just settle into a spot in the lineup, that's going to help me out quite a bit, as opposed to jumping all over the lineup card.
I mean, he's probably played 90% of his games in the 3-hole. Here's what I'll say, and it's uncomfortable, and I love Vinny Pasquantino, and I love Salvador Perez. I would not – well, let me say this. I don't think Vinny Pasquantino is a good enough player to command that he must hit in a certain spot every single day. I think he can be, but I think oftentimes he's not. He had a stretch like this early in the season last year. So for me, like, the only 2 guys I would lock in right now, and this has even changed probably from what I thought yesterday, but like Salvador Perez is a grown-ass man. If he needs to move down in the lineup, it's probably fine. I would, other than India at the top and Bobby at 2, I would be fine throwing everything else out the window. If they need, because it is moderately desperation time, only in the context of the offense figuring it out. So if you need to run a lineup out that's India, Witt, Canna, Michael Garcia, Drew Waters, do it. Like, if those are the guys that are going to hit, do it. If you need to throw Kyle Isbell up in the order because he's been productive with his plate appearances, do it. Because right now, like, Salvi's not being productive with his plate opportunities. Like, he's just not being productive. That can't happen in a 4-hole. So whatever it takes, and Salvi would be fine if you moved him down for 2 or 3 games. Like, let those guys see some different pitches. Just let them find a rhythm, find a groove, and stop letting them work through it when they've got runners in scoring position and you need to win games. Like, that's not the play. It's been too long now. We're a quarter of the way through this season. Like, this isn't just a stretch of games. Like, this is a trend at this point. And until those guys figure it out, it's a problem to put them continuously in positions to fail just move him down a little bit. Slide some of the other guys up. Take advantage. Do we really think Drew Waters is going to hit like this all season long? Do we really think Canna's going to be this player all season long? I hope that they are, but the law of averages over their careers tells us they're not going to do that. So take advantage of them while they're hot. Put them up in the lineup.
I've got no issue at all with, you mentioned Michael Garcia. I've got no issue at all with him being moved up the lineup card. And honestly, I feel like he has been. Like, I don't remember exactly where he started the season. Like if he was in, maybe the 7th hole to start the season, but he has slowly but surely bumped his way up that lineup card. I've got no issue with him batting 3rd or 4th in the lineup. None at all. I mean, he's been productive enough. I mean, he's their 2nd best hitter right now behind Bobby Witt Jr. So I've got no issue at all with him being in a little bit more of a high leverage, heart of the order type situation. But other than that, I mean, the other guys, I get it. Like Drew Waters has been fairly productive. Kyle Isbell has shown recently that he is making the most of his at-bats. But outside of that consistently, I'm okay. Honestly, if you went the top 4 of India, Witt, Garcia, and then probably I'm okay with keeping Salvi at 4 for right now. If this goes on for another week or whatever, at that point, I'm ready to have a conversation. But I'm okay for right now keeping Salvi in the 4 hole and moving Garcia to 3rd. And then you've got Pasquantino. He can kind of settle in 6th or 7th or whatever. I think my point, and I know that you feel this way too, very little in this lineup right now should be sacred, right? Very little should be sacred because until you can start to generate consistent offense night in and night out, and I don't even feel like we're asking for a lot here. It's not like we need them to score 10 runs a game, like just a little bit more than what they're doing right now. Because, and I think my reaction, and it's been this way forever, and I've said this multiple times, that until the offense starts costing this team games, I'm not going to be concerned about it. Well, the offense cost them a game last night, and I get it. Valdez he was lights out. He pitched phenomenal. And I don't want to take anything away from him and his efforts on the mound last night. He was great. But the pitching did its job for the most part. I know John Schreiber gave up the walk-off, but the pitching did its job, and the Royals offense didn't come through. And we're now at a point now where the lack of offense is costing the Royals games.
It cost them 2 against Boston. It cost them 2 games against Boston and almost 3, right? They took extra innings to get them 1 time when it was 1-0, right? It was 1-1 going into that. It's costing them games. Now their pitching's bailed them out. It's really like Salvador Perez right now, and they pointed this out on the television broadcast last night. Like, he's not going to get good pitches because he's swinging at too many bad ones. And you just can't have that in your 4-hole spot right now. And I love Salvador Perez, one of my favorite players ever, and I think he's fine, big picture, but he's chasing pitches, too many. Like, he's not just sitting there. And I mean, we've noticed it for weeks, right? Like, it's like is there any player more likely in baseball right now to get down 0-2 in a count? I don't know that there possibly could be, because that's the way he's been going right now. So just chill him out a little bit. And as he figures that out and works through it, let him do that further down in the lineup. Like, it's not that complicated. It's not an indictment. It's nothing. It's just right now he's not seeing the ball well. He's chasing too many bad pitches. Put him in a spot in a lineup where he's going to get more good pitches. Right now, when he's got opportunities, or when that position in the lineup has opportunities, like, at least put somebody in there that's been productive with at-bats, right? Drew Waters, Canna, hell, Freddie Fermin is productive in his at-bats. Michael Garcia is. Like, put any of those guys in there just to try to generate a little bit of offense. When you get those opportunities with a couple on, 1 out, a couple on, nobody out, that they have been so bad with this year. That's because Vinny and Salvi are working through it. I get it, and I think they'll be fine. But they're not right now. So that you're in too good of a division to just sort of wait it out. You can't do that. They don't get afforded that. There's 2 other really good teams, and probably 3 in this division. These games now matter as much as the ones in September. So do whatever you can to get through it. Yes, Valdez was great last night. So was Bubic, and you didn't win. right? You didn't win a game in which your starting pitcher was fantastic. And they have a lot of losses, especially basically every loss lately. What is that now, up to 4 or 5? Like, they've all been good starting pitching performances because they always get good starting pitching performances.
They've been
Like,
quality starts for sure. And,
Yeah, you
and
can't
in
wait.
today's game, in the rubber match of the series, they've got Lorenzen on the hill, and he pitched great the last time out. Remember, he pitched against the Red Sox, 7 scoreless, only gave up 3 hits in that game against the Red Sox, and he's been good all year. I think he was the guy that, out of the 5, I think Bubic was an unknown for sure going into the rotation, but Lorenzen, I think you looked at him as like, okay, he's your 5th guy in the rotation, and if you can get some wins out of him, great, but we're probably not expecting a ton. He's been pretty good. He's 3-3 right now through the season, but he's had quite a few quality starts, and so he's got the opportunity to get the Royals to win this series today in Houston. And offensively, they take on a guy who's making his major league debut. Colton Gordon is making his major league debut for the Astros today. He's no bum, though. I mean, he was great in AAA. He was an all-star in AAA last year. So far this year on the Sugar Land AAA team for Houston, he's 4-0 with a 2.55 ERA and 43 strikeouts. So he's been really good, and he's making his major league debut for the Astros today. But it's an opportunity for sure for the Royals to try to get right offensively against a guy who's making his major league debut.
The Sugarland Skeeters, great minor league mascot.
They changed their name. Did you know that they're not the Skeeters? They're not the Skeeters anymore.
What?
They changed their name. Yeah, they are the Sugarland Space Cowboys.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. I love the Skeeter mascot. Space Cowboys are pretty good. I am team outrageous mascot. I think that we should be the Wichita Turbo Tubs. I think that should be our all the time mascot. Like, give me all the outrageous mascots, please, because it's minor league baseball and that's what's fun. Look, it's very visible to me that the Royals are pressing offensively. Like, they are absolutely pressing, which tells me it's a big deal because the players feel like it's a big deal. And until they can get into that swaggy offense where they're running wild and doing all that stuff, it is what it is. They're going to have to pitch through it, and they have. And I think that makes it all better and more. But this can't be what we see all year. They're not going to make the playoffs. Like, it's not enough. And so internally, what can they do to get things turned around, and how do they break out of this collective slump, pressure, whatever it is that they're feeling that's making a lot of this offense not do what it normally does? This is where management comes in, I guess. I don't know what else you do other than you got to just kind of grit your teeth and bear it a little bit.
Well, the Royals have a chance to win the series tonight. Game time 7:10. Michael Lorenzen on the hill for the Royals tonight. Colton Gordon making his major league debut for the Astros. We're going to step aside for a timeout. On the other side, our KU insider Shreyas Laddha will join us. We'll talk all things Jayhawks. That's coming up on the other side. Sports Daily coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, Tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
They're not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
What is GMFB overtime?
It's Peter, Jamie, Kyle, and Akbar breaking down the NFL 5 days a week.
It's okay to be excited.
It's this, that, and a whole lot of It's football for everyone.
Weekdays at 10 a.m. on KSCW.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Sports Daily on KFH. Tommy Castor, Jacob Albrocht, our KU insider Shreyas Laddha joining us here this morning. Shreyas, a lot going on here behind the scenes. Our buddy Jacob is dealing with a power outage at his home right now, and so that's why it's dark behind him. We're kind of scrambling, flying by the seat of our pants right now, but we've got you connected. We're in. How you doing this morning?
Good. I'm currently in my buddy's apartment in New York. As you can see, it's we're on road territory. I was in town visiting him. I'm a Celtics fan, was there. He dragged me to the Knicks celebration right after, and filmed some videos of me reacting to the Knicks fans celebrating the win. It was a tough couple of days, but it's been a good few days before I head out of town.
Yeah, my condolences to you on your Celtics and Jason Tatum specifically. That's brutal.
Yes, I hope he's okay. I really hope he's back sooner than later. It's crazy. I mean, he's 27, so it's been weird. As I've grown up, he's grown up. So selfishly, there's a little attachment to him and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, that's how I am with LeBron James. We have like a birthday real close to each other. We were born
Really?
apart. Yeah. If that tells you anything. Shreyas, before we talk KU hoops, I kind of want to talk KU football a little bit. Like all of a sudden, this transfer class is being touted in some places as like a top 15, top 10 type transfer class. We wondered what they would be able to do with all the losses. And I know it's always a wide unknown with transfers. Are you surprised at all, though, that KU has been able to sort of hang in that stratosphere of college football?
I don't think so. They've done a good job, even since December of getting guys in positions of need with all the graduating seniors. I think they've done a great job of, making sure there's no holes. I think going the offseason, the question was offensive line, maybe defensive line, one or two guys maybe needed on both sides. And then obviously Keon Burnett leaving the team after coming in December was a surprise. But they picked up the tight end from Rice, and they've done a good job of kind of filling in portal needs ASAP. And that just tells you the testament of Lance Leipold to the program.
I may get this name totally wrong, but Bowden Groen signs with Kansas. The Rice transfer, the tight end.
Yes.
The other day. Did I say that? Is it Bowden Groen? Is that how you say his name?
I think so. I could be wrong. I guess I'll find out in a couple of months.
Sure. It seems like that he has an opportunity to carve out at least a fairly substantial role at tight end for the Jayhawks this year, coming from Rice, just with the turnover at that position. And, we know that historically Lance Leipold's offenses feature tight end play. And I feel like that's kind of been a less talked about role that the Jayhawks have needed to fill this offseason with Jared Casey gone and, all of that. What are you hearing at least about him or just about the tight end role in general and what the Jayhawks need to do there?
I think it's going to be interesting. I know there's a lot of hype around Deshaun Hanukkah. He ruptured his Achilles tendon, I think, last year, and he missed it the entire season and a lot of spring ball, I believe. So there's a lot of hope that they can kind of get back to what worked for them 2 years ago with Mason Fairchild, with the Rice tight end coming in, and also Deshaun Hanukkah, and then you have some younger guys who are already in the team in the tight end room. I think it's super, super important that they get back to having a guy that Jaylen Daniels can trust in the end zone. I think they lacked that last year. You could feel it at times. And Mason Fairchild was the safety net. You're hoping one of these guys will end up becoming that for Jaylen.
So Jaylen Daniels did not play well to start the year. In fact, Tommy and I we got into, as much heat as anything ever before because Jaylen to me was not playing well enough to play, but that all changed. Like he definitely got it figured out. What is the vibe around him right now? Is there is it expected to be the late season Jaylen that we saw finally figure it out, full steam ahead, all systems go? Or is there any concern that we might see a little of what we saw early in the season out of Jaylen Daniels?
I think we lost Shreyas. I don't think we have him.
Yeah,
I do think that's a really good question. I mean, isn't that the major question mark going into this season for the Hawks is, what is the effectiveness of Jaylen Daniels going to look like?
Well, I don't know. I think the question, are they going to be able to have enough players to have a good team with all the losses that they had? That we were surprised, or at least I was surprised to see Jaylen come back. Honestly, I was like, that's really he probably could have gone somewhere with his skill set and his history where he would have had a better chance to profile And at the time, it seemed curious. Now that we're seeing what they've been able to do in the portal and the kind of money now it's not so curious, right? Now we know, and he probably knew at the time, they said, hey, give us a minute. We feel really good about what we're going to be able to do in the portal. And so it does reshift things back to him. I don't think it was on him 3 months ago. I think it was on, are they going to be able to get enough players in? Now it kind of looks like they're going to be able to get enough players in, and it sort of is like reshifted to him. And I think it has become the biggest question. They cannot afford for him to play the way he played early in the year last year. If they, though, can get what they got, I don't know when it was now. I mean, you probably remember better than I do. It was about 5-6 weeks into the season, probably, where he really started to click again. And it was like, okay, there he is as we bring Shreyas back in. I don't know how much of that question you heard, Shreyas, but
no. I'm sorry. I was saying I think the internet cut off in the middle of that. I don't know what's happening right now. It's raining hard in New York, but we're in the road elements right now at the moment. But I think there's a lot of expectations that he can be the version that we saw in the second half of the year, where he looked like a top end quarterback in the Big 12. The coaching staff expects it. I mean, to me, the one worry I had was he had a knee kind of cleanup surgery that they deemed as minor. But he was back by the second half of like spring ball and practicing, which I think was great. I expect big things from Jalen Daniels. I think he has high expectations. He wants to play in the NFL. I think he knows this year is vitally important in a lot of ways, not just in the staying healthy way, but he's got to show that with this improved wide receiver core of some talented transfers they brought in, and the continuity they bring in on the offensive line a little bit for some of those, that he can be the guy to lead Kansas to another bowl game.
Let's shift gears, Shreyas, and talk a little bit about KU basketball. There was a lot of smoke about this about a week ago, and I know that you and Jacob talked about it when you were here last week on the program about potentially Jacques Vaughn joining the KU staff. I know he visited Lawrence, he talked to Bill Self, all of that, and then it's just been radio silent ever since then. Are you hearing any updates? Is there any, does that look real, legitimate? Is there a possibility there?
There was my partner, Gary Bedore, to report that they had a meeting on campus. I think there might be some contract snafus, / I don't know if he wants to coach college ball. That's kind of what I was hearing. I don't know how true that is. Obviously, things change so rapidly. But it might just be he's waiting for an NBA opportunity. He's an NBA guy for a long time now. He's a former NBA head coach. So I get it, and maybe he just want to live in Lawrence. I mean, he hasn't been in Lawrence since the 80s, right? So it could be that. But, the entire point of the offseason right now feels like everything's at a weird standstill. Like I'm just waiting on stuff to break. And, it's been kind of quiet the last 15 days.
I've felt the same way about it on Vaughn. Like to me, it would make more sense. Everybody's bringing in these GMs to sort of help be your banner carriers in the NIL space. Like that to me would make even more sense for him, because that experiment doesn't work very often. Where NBA guys come back, it works fine going the other way. But some of these dudes that have come down to try and be college basketball coaches from the NBA, I can't remember one where that went real well. It doesn't seem to. Now, if they had college experience before, it's a little bit different. Rick Pitino, whatever. But Woodson, there've been several. Who was at Michigan? Juwan Howard, right? It worked for just a second. Penny Hardaway. I don't know that he's been getting players, but the success level hasn't matched. So I don't know. I think that's a big ask to have him.
Especially on the staff, right? As an assistant, not as a head coach.
Not even a head coach, right?
Yeah, so it's a tough ask for a guy who was coaching the Brooklyn Nets 18 months ago, not even.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's out too. The only way, in my opinion, I'm not saying that Kansas would do this or should do this, but if I'm Jacques Vaughn, the only way that makes sense is if he's named head coach in waiting. If there's a situation where he's the guy that succeeds Bill Self when Self retires. If I'm Jacques Vaughn, that's the only way I would even entertain a conversation is you've got to name me head coach in waiting. And I'm not sure that's the direction that Kansas would ever want to take.
No, yeah, I completely agree. And, we talk about these GMs and you see these highly publicized GMs for these different colleges. there's a guy that Kansas should bring in, and I feel like would do an interesting job and a good job with guys, is Paul Pierce. He's a name brand. He's out there in the media. He doesn't take himself super seriously. I think the job of a GM is to be a fundraiser. I think he schmooze a little bit. Selfishly,
you got to relate to the players too.
Yeah. Selfishly, as a Celtics fan, I think it'd be fun to have him around a little bit. But I do think, like we see this, like the GMs kind of, you see Shaq come into Sacramento State, Mike Bibby alongside him. To me, the GM role can be whatever you want it to be. It can be something where they do a lot of work, or it could be the guy who closes the deal to get a player to come onto campus.
Maybe
yeah.
They're just like one of these guys that has a bunch of money. Will be like, you know what? I'll put you over the edge.
We'll throw some money your way to make that work. All right, Shreyas, we appreciate your time. Hopefully, by the time you come back from your trip, we'll have some good updates and new things dropping on both the football and basketball front for KU. We appreciate your time. Thanks for braving the elements, for being on the program today, and enjoy your trip. We'll talk to you in a few weeks.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, there goes Shreyas Laddha, our KU insider here on Sports Daily. Before we wrap up this segment, Jacob, some news just came out, and these nuggets are dropping fast and furious with the NFL schedule release. According to Jordan Schultz, Fox Sports NFL insider, the Super Bowl rematch, Eagles and Chiefs, Week 2 in Kansas City, a 3:25 kickoff on Fox. So the Chiefs will go international Week 1 in Brazil to take on the Chargers, turn around and get that Super Bowl rematch in week number 2.
And the Eagles will play on Thursday night, so they'll both have long rest. Advantage Eagles, though, because they don't have to then international travel, and they'll have the extra day. So a little bit of advantage for the Eagles there. The Chiefs come back home. It's probably a wash, but okay, like sign me up for that. And a real quick shout out to Crestview Country Club too. By the way, I'll be out there golfing. I'm going to try to play 9 tomorrow. If you're out there, Crestview, say hi. We appreciate it.
All right, we appreciate it. More Sports Daily just around the corner.